In this unit, my classmate and I have learned that something more abstract than a logotype could become patentable, such as a color. After that, I wondered whether everything is potentially patentable. Then, I came across the idea whether a smell will be able to patentable. First of all, we must remember that the federal law that governs trademark law, the Lanham Act, defines a trademark as any words, name, symbol, or design, or any combination thereof, used in commerce to identify and distinguish the goods of one manufacturer or seller from those of another, and to indicate the source of the goods. In USA, have shortage of trademarks of smells. The first case was in 1990, where Claire Oswald was a company which sent the treat with a sweet smell with a high impact, fresh floral fragrance, reminiscent of plumeria blossom. The counsel for applicants argued this argument. Recently, in 2019, the United States Patent and Trademark Office officially registered the distinctive smell of Play-Doh. The federal registration covers two toy modeling compounds and states that the trademark is a scent of sweet, slightly musky vanilla fragrance with slight overtones of cherry, combined with the smell of salt with base dough. The USPTO initially refused registration on the basis that Play-Doh toy modeling compound's scent was not distinctive and thus incapable of functioning as a mark. In its response, Hasbro submitted well over 300 pages of evidence substantiating Hasbro's claim that the scent alone has adequate distinctiveness and that the scent alone functions as a trademark. In addition to its page of evidence of adequate distinctiveness, Hasbro sent the USPTO competitors' toy modeling compounds for the examiner's olfactory analysis. The USPTO relies on evidence that competitors were not using a confusingly similar scent to prove that the scent is not a common feature of this type of products, and such as is distinctive and non-functional. Therefore, I can say that the applicant must prove that the mark has acquired distinctiveness, as set forth in the Trademark Manual of Examining Products. Accordingly, if the smell is the natural result of a manufacturing process or price non-reputation relates advantage over competitive products, then the mark is likely functional and non-registrable. The most important feature is that your fragrance serves as another important practical function than to help identify and distinguish a brand. Thus, perfumes and air freshener do not are patentable. In the event of the scent serves the function of whetting the appetite of the customers in some shops, the scent is then likely seen as a functional component that is not registrable as a trademark. In EU, the Article 4 of the Community Trademark Regulation allows for the registration of signs, not limited to words and graphics, as long as they can be represented graphically, and are capable of distinguishing the goods or service of one undertaking from those of other undertakings. In Ralph Chaseman versus Markman, the ECJ ruled that the ways in which the applicant represented the scent marks, which included an odor sample, a description, and the chemical formula, did not meet the criteria for graphical representation. But recently, in the case L'Oreal vs. Garnier, L'Oreal scored a major victory in trademark protection against smell-alike perfumes in England Court of Appeal. This widely reported decision indicates a sea change in European trademark law, which is now recognizing the marketing and monetary effort a company spent when creating and maintaining the trademarks. This second company was accused by L'Oreal of counterfeiting its perfumes. This court requested to European Courts of Justice on 19 June 2009, a preliminary ruling proceeding is the method for clearing the European rules. This type of decision applies to all of Europe. The question is whether the advertising message indicates that it is an imitation of the products protected by the trademarks, as a whole or only an imitation of unessential characteristics of the leather, such as the smell of the products in question. The youths felt that the average consumer is smart enough to realize that the smell alkyls are not of the same quality as the fragrance they seek to emulate. Also, he cited that the smell alkyls were marketed toward people who could not afford and therefore would never buy L'Oreal perfumes. However, the potential harm to premium perfume markets if such a comparative advertising caused people who could afford the original to buy the replicants instead. The result could have been quite different under US trademark law, which can be more permissive with respect to comparative advertising because in the US could have been analyzed under the doctrine of fair use. Nevertheless, in Hong Kong has a lot of scent trademarks. In fact, Section 3 of Hong Kong's trademark ordinance expressly recognizes color, sound, and smell as registrable. It is said that smell is said to be one of the most potent types of human memory, and businesses show increasing interest in pairing pleasant scents with their products. I think in the future there will be an increase in the application of scent trademark because companies need new methods for approaching to consumers and therefore can outperform to their competitors. But this is only a personal opinion. I invite you to write your remark about this topic. I hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you very much.